In today's video, we are going to discuss how we can get SharePoint list templates using JavaScript, and we'll see how we can bind this to a drop-down list. If you are new to the channel, my name is Bijay and I'm a Microsoft MVP specialized in SharePoint. I welcome you to the channel, and if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel so that you will get free videos on SharePoint, Office 365, SPFX, Power Platform, all these dev related technology videos. You will get it free. Now let me just show you what exactly we are going to do here. Now if you will open any SharePoint site, and we will see this thing in a classic SharePoint site, the templates we are using in the modern site, but this is not the way how we can do exactly the same thing or the same code that we'll use to get in the classic in the modern SharePoint site, because here we are going to use a script editor web part which we cannot use in the modern SharePoint sites. Now if you'll see this SharePoint site, and if you want to create a list, so you can click on add an app, and then you will see the templates here. For example, if you want to create a document library, then you will select this custom list, you will select this, and then these are the templates which are available. There are other templates are also available, like promoted links, task list, issue tracking, calendar, contacts, announcement. So these are the templates. Now why we require this, or why we are discussing that we will get it using the JavaScript? Because programmatically sometimes we need this. If I will create from the browser, now I don't need the template ID or template name for this. Just I'll select the template and then we'll be able to create it. Now imagine you are creating a form where you are telling the user to provide a list name or the list description, and they need to select a template. Now in those scenarios you have to bind the list templates, and here we will do the same thing. Now if I will show you, there is a list templates types are there. For example, if you want to create a custom list, then you can use the template ID as 100, and this 100 we require when we will actually creating a list programmatically. I have explained how to create a list in another video. I'll put the link in the video description. But this template ID we required when you are dealing with or when you are trying to create a list programmatically or a library programmatically. And similarly for the document library, you have to provide the template ID as 101, and for survey 102, links 103, announcement 104. So this is how actually you required, or this template ID is required. Now a lot of time you want to create task list, or you want to create workflow history list, where you should know the template ID, and for a workflow history list it is 140. Now I have a web part page. You can see here this is a web part page, but let me open the code. I'll explain the code first. So here we will use the script editor web part. I have a HTML where we will create a drop down, and we will bind those templates to this particular drop down. Now if you'll see here, this is the jQuery file reference, so you can put any CDN path. I have used the ajax.asp.net CDN. Basically this is from the Microsoft library. You can use the jQuery CDN path, or even Google CDN path, you can use it. Now then the table, so I have created a table. If you are not familiar with HTML, I think I have a video also where I have explained how you can start with HTML. And then you can see here I have taken a tr/td, and in one td the template is there, a text, and in another td you can see here there is the drop down list basically. So we'll use select ID, and I have just provided an ID because we want to bind with this ID. Now then you can see here document.ready function, and we are writing, or we are calling the retrieve list template function in execute or delay until script loaded. Now this method why we required, because this will actually call our method. In this case it is retrieve list template after sp.js loaded successfully. Now remember, we are using here JavaScript, or the JavaScript object model JSOM. Now for that reason we required the sp.js file to be loaded successfully in the page before you are trying to access or any kind of sp.client context or anything. So you require the sp.js file to be loaded. Now you can see here I have the template collection. These are the variables, and if you are new to JSOM, then I think I have a video. I'll put the links. You can see here we are getting the current context and we are getting the current web, because from the web only we can get the list templates by calling get underscore list templates method. Now this method will give you all the list templates for that particular site. In fact, that is same for every site. So it will give you, that method is available for web object. Now next, if you'll see here, we are loading the template and then the success and the failure method you can see here. And on the success method, you can see we are now binding it here. So we are taking the get enumerator and then there is a while loop. So while these items are there in this enumerator, then you can see here, this is the syntax to bind the templates. Now if you'll see here, there are two things we are binding, or in a drop down list, in fact, there will be a ID and then kind of the value. So the text and the value. So the text, which is the display text, what is the user can see. For example, user will see whether it's a list, document library, or survey, or a task list, or a history list. But the value is which is the ID. So in this case, if you'll see here, this is going to be the ID or the value, and this is going to be the display text. Now next, what we will do here is, you can see the final thing is we are adding the options. So basically we are generating the options, and once every options are there, then you can see append it so that it will be binding in that dropdown. Now I will simply copy this code. I have this web part page. You can simply go to the page, then edit page, and once you edit this page, click on add a web part, and then you can see here, go to media and content, then you can see here script editor web part, click on add, and then you can see here, I'll just simply put this code. Now let me put one point here. If you are using, let's say you don't want to use the script editor web part, if you want to use let's say the content editor web part, where you want to distinguish your files, maybe you want to add HTML file, you want to refer that, then I'll put the link in the video description where you'll get all the scripts for both for the script editor web part and for the content editor web part. In that case, you will be having one HTML file, and the other one will be the JS file which we can refer. But in case of script editor web part, you can see here I just put everything in that, and then you can see here, click on insert. So once you click on insert, click on stop editing, and you can see here this is our page, and all these templates are binded successfully. You can see here. Now in this form, user can select it. If they want to create a list or something, then they will submit. You can get the ID. That's how it will be. So this is how we can bind the list templates into a drop-down list by using JavaScript object model. And if you want similar kind of videos, then subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you will get those free videos on SharePoint, Office 365, SPFX, Power Platform, and then your JavaScript, jQuery, all these things that we are putting the videos. Thank you and have a nice day.